Alrighty, good morning, YouTube. Um, as I am here today, basically explaining what has happened in the past 48 hours in Ukraine and also in the Middle East and as well in Asia. Now, today we are going to be covering a lot of points, a lot of stuff, and a lot of events that have happened in the past um 48 hours. Of course, I'm not the I don't know everything. I don't know a lot. I'm barely stepping my foot into this whole geopolitical aspect or whole geopolitical region. Yes, I know a little bit about foreign policy, how foreign policy works. But also I'm doing this so people could understand how geopolitics work and also bring people with me so we can all learn together and learn along the way on how just everything just goes. Also want to dumb it down for a lot of people that don't really like get the want to know the nits and pieces of how everything's doing. Just simplify things as well. But I'm also bringing you on this journey with me for to basically explore geopolitics together and to be able to step foot, get a grasp of it, and be able just to learn together. I don't have a college degree. I don't have anything, but I do a lot of research, and I do know a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. I do have a rough estimate of history. I will say that I did grow up learning a lot of history, but I also just want to be able to bring knowledge to people and open their eyes, like this is happening around the world. This is why stuff is the way it is. This is why you know it's important in our everyday lives that we find out and that we know and that we're up to date to what are things happening, why Iran is doing what Iran is doing, why the Middle East is about to go into a full-on regional war. um and it's just I think it just should be brought to light. And I hope that I do a good job today. I hope that I'm able to, you know, bring in a lot of people together and just, you know, hope for the not hope for the best. I can't be saying hope for the best, but just basically just bring everyone together. And like I said, I'm not claiming to be the smartest. I'm not claiming to be anyone. I'm just simply doing this to bring light and also doing this because I want to take you on this journey with me. So, with enough being said, we are going to go ahead and get to the first points of this live stream. And of course, I have my stuff pointed up right here. So, in case of anything, if anything happens, any breaking news, or, just in general, I'm able to cover it right here, right now. And, you know, y'all have no delay. So the first thing that we're gonna go ahead and get into in Ukraine, there was a bombing at the capital of Kyiv. Now I don't know if this is 100% confirmed. I don't know if this was, they say it was 2 days ago. Not on the, I believe on the 6th of August it happened, if I'm not mistaken. But ooh, the stream's current bit rate is low. Oh no. Okay, but anyways, um, there was a bombing in the in the capital of Kyiv in Ukraine, and I have video footage. Now I want to make this clear. I'm not 100% sure if this is um backed or confirmed, but I do have footage of it, and I will go ahead and show y'all it. As right here. As we can see here, that was a pretty big explosion, and it was pretty loud. Look at that. That is insane. That is a big ass fireball right there. Look, we can just see this again. That's crazy. That is crazy. Now Russia's just always been trying to shoot their Shaheds, Sawheads or Shaheds. I'm correct me if I'm wrong. Shahed 35s or 30s. God, I can't even speak right now. I'm very nervous. Shahed 30s, which are basically the little suicide drones that basically just go in and blow up any target. That's what Hezbollah has been using. Iran has been, making these and basically selling them to Russia, and Russia has been using it during the Ukrainian war. Seems that that it's, I don't know. It's the video right there. I guess it's my somewhat confirmation. I know this guy, Masad Commentary, has really good um, sources, but we'll go ahead and gonna go move on from that. Let me close out of that, and then a Russian Su-35 and ammo depot was destroyed. Okay, um, now this was over there in the Rostov Oblast. At least 4 explosions were heard shortly after the air alert sounded. This was after, I believe, this was the strike that the Ukrainians did before that the Russians sent the Shahed drones to Kyiv, and one was able to explode. I think that was the Shahed that they sent was the retaliatory strike for this strike. As we can see here, if we go ahead and see, they lost it. Wow, they did lose a Su-34 jet, and they did destroy a good amount of the airfield, which is crazy. Now, if we want to go ahead and probably geolocate this, so we're gonna take that, and then well, Keith said it, so we're gonna go. And this channel's pro-Western all the way, so I definitely gonna take the Ukrainian word over Russian word, because Russians just lie a lot, especially that Putin barely acknowledging the fact of what happened of the recent incursion of Ukrainians basically infiltrating not infiltrating invading into Russia near the in the borders. I forgot, the Kursk region, in the Kursk region. But we get into a minute. We'll get into that here in a minute. But as we can see, they have a lot of if I believe these are Su-35s, if I'm not mistaken. Let's Wikipedia. Wikipedia is the best thing for this. Su-35s. Oh, yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, Su-34. No. Okay. So I was wrong. There's a couple Su-34s as well, and Su-35s, as we can see. Su-34s. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the airfield that it's talking about. Let's see here. Let me geolocate this. Yes, it is. So right here is where the damage was done. So if we take that right, oh shit. So hold on. So if we look for this L right here, okay, and we look for that big white tanker, yep. So all this right here was destroyed, which is pretty good. They did take out an Su-34, not an Su-35. No, so yeah, so Su-34. They did take out Su-34, and maybe an No, they didn't take out that Su-35, but definitely the Su-34, because that's non-existent. This fucking pathway is non-existent right here. So as you can see, Ukraine's doing some damage. So we're gonna go ahead and move on from that little interesting topic, and we're gonna go ahead and go on to the main topic: Ukraine pushing in to Russia. And I don't want to say invading, because they're not really invading. They're just holding a certain town and not really going off from there. They're just holding that town right now. When I see a full-on invasion, I see more than an entire I'll say brigade, more than a couple brigades, maybe a division, I'll say, that I'll consider it somewhat an invasion, but not really a full invasion. If y'all want to consider that. Um, Hold on. I need to check something real quick because I feel like YouTube YouTube fucks with me, but I need to figure out if I have this in the right category. Hopefully I do. People and bloggers, I'm sure it's in the right category if I'm not mistaken. Um, Hopefully it is. Hold on, let me see here. Will people and blogs be considered? No, news and politics. Here we go. There we go. Now I got the right category. News and politics. And of course, this channel is politic free, just news, simply just news. I'm just putting out the news, and I'm putting out my thoughts on it, and also learning geopolitics. This is the main part. We're just learning together. I'm taking the gas. I'm taking this step. I'm taking, my first steps into geopolitics, and we're just learning together. Now, what's so okay, let's cycle back. So the reason that it's important that these Su-34s were hit because these are fighter bombers, and normally, if I'm not mistaken, these are how many Su-34s this how many Su-34s does Russia have? Russia has, as of May 2023, Russia has had at least 132 Su-34 bombers and at least 17 Su-34Ms in service with more than 40 or more on order. Ooh. See? Okay. So it was a significant hit. Now let me see. Let's see here. They have lost, as of June 2024, they have lost 36 Su-34 Su-34 fighter bombers in the whole entire Ukrainian war. That number's 37 now. That number is 37 now. So, well, that just comes to show that these planes are very, very, well, important. Now my question is, how much do they cost? Design development. See, so I'm trying to figure out why they are what they are, but I guess I can't find that, and I'm not gonna redo this whole thing right here because I don't have the time. Testing and production, operational history. I don't need operational history. I need what. He's talking about the Su-35, but I don't want to know about the Su-35. I want to know about the Su, 34s. But how much does it cost to build Su-34? How much is it? Around $36 million. Now we're gonna, okay. American currency to Russian. Oh shit. Oh boy, this number's not gonna look good. 35,000. 1, 2, 3. That's about 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So about 3 billion rubles. I don't even think Russia can't take that many losses. They're already taking extreme losses. They can't take that. So to them, that's a lot. Having the Su-34 getting blown up. Yeah, that's $35 million just down the drain. Oh shit. So enough said. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the other part. Now let's get into the main part. Ukraine pushing into the Russian borders. I have video proof, and we have video proof of. I'm sorry. We have video proof of Ukrainians pushing into Russia. Now, from what I've heard, they are only taking a certain town, called, if I'm not mistaken, it's in the Kursk region. I just forgot the name of the town. I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry, guys, but they're in the Kursk region right now, and I know for a fact that the front line so far has a width of 10 to 11 kilometers, and the Russian forces are about 15 kilometers, I think, ahead, or no. So there's like a 5 kilometer gap, I believe. Don't take me word for word. Not confirmed, but we're gonna go ahead and look at this footage, and we're gonna go ahead and show you what's happening in the Kursk region and how it's going so far. So as you can see here, it's pretty messed up. They did have so an hour before, they did have a round of artillery shells going into the invasion, or the insertion, basically. So the Russian border guards had 1 hour to prepare, but that's it. They had nothing, and they had artillery going in, and then the Ukrainians pushed in. So we're gonna go ahead and look at the rest of this footage right here.
Одна вот здесь вот упала. Бэхи пизда. По моей машине асфальт.
Wow, that's a massive pothole.
Вот так вот. Все, пизда, судя. Сейчас я...
Everyone's all like, what just happened? What's going on? Oh no!
Все, вот он, дом, вот сюда прилетел.
Unfortunate for them, not for Ukraine, obviously. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the next video. As we can see here, you know, I'm gonna just go ahead and bring this Google Docs over. No, I won't. So as we can see here, according to Russian resources near the border with the Kursk region, and the armed forces of Ukraine began to use a new tactical symbol in the form of a triangle photo from an enemy drone. Apparently this has never been seen before. Ukrainians using this triangle symbol. So from what I've heard, that they've basically gotten several different battalions together and just put them together and made a. I don't think they made a. Hold on. How many? Military personnel in a brigade. Okay, 3. Okay. Battalion. Okay, so battalion. So they came up with a battalion's worth of people to basically insert into Russian territory, and they are using these symbols right there for the markings. Pretty cool, I guess. And from what I heard, it is not the freedom fighters of Ukraine. This is actual Ukraine rushing in to the Russian borders, rushing into Russia, and wiping the shit out of the fucking border guards. So this is a really bold move on Ukraine. From what I don't think Ukraine has the manpower to. Now, everyone, I will say, everyone's probably gonna think, oh, they're probably gonna go so much further now, blah blah blah, or maybe go to Moscow. No, first of all, Moscow has very tight security, and that would be almost impossible because of uh, just the amount, just the amount of security. You got police, you got FSB, you got Russian military, yeah, and air defenses. It just won't work. And I don't think Ukraine has that manpower to be able to push in like that. So if we look here, Ukrainian Ukrainian armed forces uh size 2024. So as of 2024, Ukraine's military had approximately 22.2 million personnel, including 100,000 active military personnel. Okay. Okay, this puts Ukraine active military sixth place in the world behind Russia's 1.2. Okay. So they probably could. They probably could. Um no, they couldn't. They just couldn't. It'll be too hard. But they'd have the manpower. Now what I'm thinking here, that this is probably maybe a diversion, maybe to throw something to throw Russia off guard. Because right now, as we can see in the Ukrainian front lines, in the war that's going on, it's really a stalemate. It's really they're fighting for a couple hundred meters, a couple hundred meters here and there. Especially if I get Ukraine and Russia war map August 2024. Okay, right here. So if we look right here, to me, I don't see much progress. So if we let me see, significant fighting in the past 24 hours. Russian controlled territory accused, assessed Russian advances in Ukraine. Controlled Ukrainian territory, claimed Ukraine counteroffensive. Reported. Okay, so right now, from what we can see, they're just basically on a stalemate. Especially in this region right here, in the Kharkiv region, they haven't really done. Russia hasn't really done much. Their fucking offensive in Kharkiv has gone terrible, really terrible. Everyone was worried that Russia would think that they will get into Kharkiv, but Ukrainians proved them wrong. They've been holding them down. They've been basically just telling them, yeah, you're not getting to Kharkiv. So, um, the Russian military is also just poor right now, poor with just logistics, and also just the men that they have. They're not well trained. They're barely getting trained, and they're just thrown out there. So it's a meat grinder basically, which is sad to say. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into this other one right here. Hold on. And replay the video. Get out of Wikipedia real quick. Here. I'm gonna go ahead and replay the video. Sudzda district. Sudzda district of Kursk region situation. So we go ahead and go. Let's see here. So with Kursk region. Yep. Sudzda. So right here. So I'm not mistaken, these are I think this is the town that Ukrainians have actually yeah. So this is the town if I'm not mistaken, that Ukraine has control over right now. Why is that like two different? Like, did they take the pictures at two different like times? Or like, damn. Are you? God, look at the geographic. Yeah. But let's go ahead and look at this video. Look at that. Ooh.
Тут пизда, нахуй, самолеты над
Hauling
головой, прикинь,
ass.
летают, нахуй,
Это
истребители.
круто,
Это,
бля.
блядь, догорает, вон тачка, нахуй, даже хуй пожарка едет, понял? Тут пизда полная, лянь, ёб твою мать.
Look at that.
Ебать, нахуй, я в ахуе.
So that is one video. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into, I believe, yes. So if now that I've showed y'all, I guess this is the town. I'm gonna show y'all exactly where this is happening right here. So Russian sources report that tanks of armed forces of Ukraine have crossed the Russian border and are advancing to Karifka and Garn. I can't say these names. They're very, very Russian, and I am not Russian at all. So if we go ahead and look, so they're about right here. They're advancing to right here. Yeah, they're about the yeah, or that's vodka. Where's the Vika? Vika. So I'm guessing this will be the area right here, if I'm not mistaken. Gokovlika. You know what? Let's actually type it in. Let's type it in to see what we find. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that's... No. Okay. I guess that person spelled it wrong, but either way, the the Ukrainians are moving in. I will say about right here, especially since they're seeing a bunch of artillery shells going off in Suzda, and not just that, they're Ukraine basically. If I'm not mistaken, let's see this road right here. I'm sure Ukraine just went through this road right here, and basically just went up into the town, or they could have gone through here and then they would have to cross that. Maybe they maybe went through this border, and then or anywhere along this border and just went into right here and such stuff. So let me see here. Try to put 2 and 2 together, guys, because I also do not want to give y'all the wrong information. Kurgulovka. Oh, okay. So they're advancing onto this small little village right here, which is pretty. Okay, excellent connection. Okay, it looks like we're good. We're back. So if not mistaken, this looks like a 10-kilometer stretch. If I'm seeing this right. So I think this is probably the front that they're holding right now. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and move on from this section from right now. And then we're gonna go ahead and move on to, oh my God, guys, there's just a lot of news. Just a lot of news that's been happening in the past 48 hours. So we're gonna have to ramp the coverage. So another oil refinery hit in Russia as well. Russia is getting their oil refineries knocked out from left to right. As you can see here, this was in the city of Usinsk, and this was an explosion and a fire at the Transmit oil refinery. So we're gonna go ahead and look that up, and we're gonna go ahead and search it right here. Pause that. Go and look into. Let's see what we can find. Hold on. So. Usinsk. I don't know if that's the right. I'm not sure. Bitch. No? Okay. I guess I won't be able to get. Yo, what is up with my Wi-Fi? It's like nothing's working right now. What the fuck? Okay, let me just refresh Google Earth. Maybe that's just the problem. Maybe that's just the problem. Okay. Or maybe I'm getting some Russian bots in here that finally figure out that I'm pro-Western channel, and they're like, yeah, we don't like this guy's channel already. Eat my ass. How about that? So, now let me type it in. Okay, there we go. There is no way that they fucking did. Yeah, I don't think there's an explosion, maybe a malfunction, but I don't think Ukraine really went that far. Cause that is really, really far. If I'm not mistaken. Where's this oil refinery at? Let me see. Let's look at this video again. Okay, so we have that. Well, this whole town looks like an oil refinery. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. Huh. Hold on. Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, maybe right here. See, this will make sense. This would make sense. Yeah, this would make sense for sure. But either way, we were able to find we were able to see this footage of another oil refinery hit. Unfortunate unfortunate for the Russians, but not for us. So here's another I believe, if I'm not mistaken, hold on. Okay. There was a big explosion at the Marzovsk airfield. If I'm not mistaken, this was the airfield that we were just looking at. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. Yes. There was another big explosion at the airfield, which is incredibly insane that they're just knocking the shit out of this airfield. Like, holy shit, they cannot get enough. So we're gonna go ahead and look at this footage right now. Ooh, white smoke. Ooh, I think, guys, that was probably the oil depot that they hit. Eesh. That does not look good. That does not look good at all. Yep. That's the airfield that was destroyed that we were just talking about right here earlier. There's the Su-34 that was destroyed. There's the ammo depot as well. God, they just looks terrible. But as you can see, Ukraine's doing some significant damage. Significant damage. I really need to start putting dates on when this shit happens. Because it is not looking good if I don't have a date and that I do not remember. But as you can see, this was posted in the last, I believe, 24 hours. Yes, 24 hours. Now the situation in Kursk region in the morning of August 27th, 7th. Okay. So far from what I gathered, this is the situation that we have right now. So, in the situation in the Kursk region on the morning of August 7th, yesterday, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation announced 300 military personnel of armed forces of Ukraine with 11 tanks and more than 20 armored fighting vehicles allegedly launched an attack in the Kursk region. The Russian armed forces have lost in manpower, equipment, and aviation. They are captured Russian soldiers as well. Kadyrov's unit, Akhmet escaped, Z warriors confirmed. They write that armed forces of Ukraine liberated the settlements of Darino, Gogolivka, uh, Goncharivka, there we go, Goncharivka, and I can't say that. Servikovo. Sorry if my pronunciation is terrible. Russian strongholds were taken in Ohenzna, and this information requires confirmation. All night the parties charged reserves. Russia expects destabilization in other areas. Ukraine has not yet commented on what's happening in the Kursk region. The helicopter shot down yesterday in Russian Federation do not appear in the summary of our General Staff of Ukraine. Well, so you can see there's at least 300 military personnel with 11 tanks and 20 armored fighting vehicles, which is a really good push. Which is, I think it was bigger than the ones that the Russian, the freedom fighters of Russia try to push in with. And then the destruction of the MiG-28, there is video proof of the destruction of the MiG-28 right here. Let me pause this video and go ahead and show y'all. And as you can see, boom, MiG-28 is just taken out like that. Boop. And right out by an FPV drone. It's crazy how the drones are just something so small is just costing damage to millions of dollars. That's just insane to me. That's just really insane. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Russian losses over the past 24 hours as of August 8th in Ukraine, not here in the US. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the casualty report, and they have lost 1,230 military personnel. They have lost 8 tanks, 29 armored personnel vehicles. Wow. 67 artillery systems. Jeez. And then as well as 21 special equipment, 78 vehicles and fuel tanks. Oh my god. And 1 cruise missile and 54 UAV operational tactical level. That is a significant loss over the 24 hours. That is crazy. That's really insane. The fact that Russia's taking that many losses, man. That's insane. To me, that is insane. But as we also have other footage or video proof of a D-20 howitzer in the Kursk region. It seems that it was destroyed by the Ukrainians. So yeah, pretty good stuff that we got going on there. And then President, oh wait, AFC, hold on guys, let me read this real quick. Okay, so this is the front line that currently that Ukraine is holding. Kirk's region. Our aircraft and UAVs worked all night. Enemy concentrations were destroyed. The enemy is deploying logistics in controlled territories, bringing in fuel, lubricants, and ammunition. Judging by the open sources, regular enemy troops are present at a depth of to 15 kilometers, and the width of the front is 10 to 11 kilometers. The armed forces of Ukraine were present as of evening, in the Lumiov. Oh, that's a lot of settlements. Okay. So as you can see, the front line is 10 to 11 kilometers wide. Sorry. And up to depth up to 15 kilometers. So, if I'm not mistaken, let me see here. We were just on the region. Why can I not find it right now? There we go. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm guessing Ukraine is here and the Russians are right here. Maybe. Who knows? Well, they do. So, beyond that, we're gonna go ahead and get into another visual representation of what's going on. So it was announced by Russian channels as the advancement of armed forces of Ukraine in the Kursk region. It is reported that Ukrainian military managed to advance into the territory for up to 15 kilometers and take control of 11 settlements. Currently, no visual confirmations. Okay, so there's no visual confirmations. But these are all in Russian, so I don't know what it really says. But if we have an estimate, they have. So I'm guessing they have that big bubble. Now we have. Let me see here. So we gotta look for that watermark right there. A little bit of water going up. So. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Okay. So they have this town right here, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, they're basically going like this. Which, in my assumption that I made, was semi-correct. Yeah, because boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So yeah, this is basically right along here is basically what Ukraine is holding right now, which is a lot of territory for just 300 military personnel. For 300 military personnel, that is a lot. That's a lot. Especially if I'm not mistaken, they're gonna be spread thin. So I hope those boys can stick it out, and I hope it goes well for them. I really do. And then we also have another video proof of how the Kursk region is looking like right now, as of today. And yeah, pretty fucked up. So, I'm sorry guys, I'm really tired. I just got out of work. But moving out of Ukraine, we are gonna go ahead and move into Asia, where we got some very, very interesting news that we rarely really hear about. And which I find kind of funny. If we go over here and we go into the country of Bangladesh, as we can see, the prime minister was fleeing the scene. Yes, guys, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh was fleeing the scene. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, right here. So Alex News has always been a trustworthy source, but as you can see, there have been riots and protests that have been going on, and has had 300 people killed. From what I've heard, and from other resources, that the reason that they protest against the prime minister was because of the civil service jobs, and also and I heard that she was in power for 15 years, if I'm not mistaken, or I might be wrong on that. I might be wrong on that. But as you can see here, you can see them going in, basically just taking it over. See her fleeing away in her little not MiG-28, but her little helicopter. Watch. Let me see it again. Bloop, 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 bloop. And you can see the Bangladesh people smoking cigarettes in the council, in the parliament. I'm sorry. Crowd stormed the the national parliament after the crowd stormed the building. A widespread attack. Yeah, so national parliament. Wow, that's insane. The fact that Bangladesh was, they basically pulled a Venezuela overnight. Not overnight, but basically just did what Venezuela did. Now as we move on, we're gonna move on to North Korea. Yeah, North Korea, right? North Korea has been going insane. They put 250 tactical ballistic missile launchers on the South Korean border. Why? It's North Korea. They're probably just trying to what's that word? I can't think of the word. But they're just, not escalating, but just making tensions harder. I don't know. I there's a word for it. I just can't think of it right now. And of course it is what it is. But that is something crazy to see, that North Korea is doing that. And I'm still wondering on what's happening to the whole entire brigade that or 3,000 North Koreans are supposed to go to Ukraine. I wonder how long that's gonna take. Because I've seen videos of Ukrainian people expressing their concerns of North Koreans, bringing in their own people into Ukraine, because what Asians are very known for are making tunnels, and tunnels that stretch for miles. That's why we didn't really do that great in the Vietnam War. That's why we were unsuccessful in the Vietnam War, because man, they just had a shit ton of fucking holes, and tunnels that they can just run through all day and night. What the fuck happened here? That's weird, Google Earth. But beyond that, man, I wish, man, if I could take one good look at Vietnam, I would. I mean, I would go to Vietnam in person, just to see where our veterans fought, and the difficulties that they went through. It must have been interesting. Look, oh my God, man, look how populated this is. Vietnam, man, wow. Now I want to look. Da Nang. Wow. 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 Vietnam has thrived. Has thrived. But besides that, we are now. Oh, Excuse me. We're now gonna get into the Middle East, as where tensions are rising by day, and an Iranian attack is imminent on Israel. From what we've heard, we don't know when the strike is gonna happen. Um, there was a window, a 24 to 72 hour window that has been completely blown over. Now the Secretary of Defense is guessing that they're gonna have their attack on late Thursday or late Friday. To me, I don't know. I can't crystal ball it. I can't even put a date on it because one, the Iranians are playing mind games because because if y'all remember in the first strike, they were the U.S. was able to kind of be able to anticipate the attack because of them being able them setting up all the all the military equipment and then launching the strike. So it was somewhat uh predictable. But now that the Iranians are just setting up their military equipment, but they're not, they're just conducting military exercises, and also they have ballistic missiles underground. So we just don't know when they're gonna strike. They have them set up. We just don't know when they're gonna set it off. Because last time they struck actually immediately after the assassination on a bunch of top generals of the IRGC in Damascus. So or I think it was a week later, if I'm not mistaken. But we're gonna see on how long that takes. Now, of course, as everyone heard, I know I'm late to it. I was gonna cover this yesterday, but couldn't. Oh, I should really change the title of the stream and put this backwards. I'm sorry, guys. Let me do this real quick. Because I do have Netanyahu on the thumbnail, so it wouldn't make sense if I had Ukraine enters Russia first, and tensions rising in the Middle East, and Ukraine enters Russia and learning geopolitics. Day one. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, at least now, and here in the Middle East, what recently happened, I'm sure everyone's heard about the attack on the Al Assad air base that's in Iraq. Um, Iraq is an interesting place. But also kind of scary. I wouldn't like to be in Iraq. So if we go ahead and take a look, Al Assad, oh shit, air base. Let's see here. Okay, so we go ahead and look over. No. Al Assad. Well, either way, it was the Al Assad Air Base is somewhere in western Iraq. I can't give an exact geolocation of where it is because, to my understanding, I do not know where it is. But I can at least tell you that at least five U.S. personnel were injured and two contractors were severely injured as well. And I can go ahead and pull up this little picture right here of what somewhat of a statement that was made, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Washington, August 5th, at least 5 U.S. personnel were injured in the attack against a military base in Iraq Monday. U.S. official told Reuters that the Middle East braced for a possible new wave of attacks by Iran and its allies following last week's killing of the senior members of militant groups Hamas and Hezbollah. Two Katyusha rockets were fired at the Al-Assad air base in western Iraq. Two Iraqi security sources said. One Iraqi security source said that the rockets fell inside the base. It was unclear whether the attack was linked to threats by Iran to retaliate over the killings. And from what I think, I think they were. But you know, who knows? Iran is always bombing the shit out of us with their proxies. And honestly, I think we should just strike back immediately, because how the fuck are we tolerating these, you know, these behaviors? We shouldn't. So let's just keep that in mind. And then we got another one. As a Major General Jabir Aziz, the commander of Hamas of the Al Furqan battalion, was killed the other day by an Israeli airstrike. So the Israeli Defense Forces announced that earlier today that in a joint operation between the IDF and the Shin Bet, an airstrike was carried out on Sunday with the Gaza City in the northern Gaza Strip, which resulted in the elimination of several terrorists, including the Major General Jabir Aziz, the commander of the Hamas Furqan battalion, who was hiding inside of a Hamas command and control center in the school building. And this was the guy. Yeah, get that guy out of here. That guy is no longer here, and thank God, because we don't need no more terrorists. Iran. Now, as we all heard, Shoigu, which is the foreign minister of Russia, I think he was the, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was the defense minister, minister of defense of Russia to 2024, but now he is the foreign minister. He recently went down to Iran to have a couple discussions with them, and one of the discussions that they had was, and take this with a grain of salt because of course it's Russia saying this, but apparently Shoigu went down on the business to tell Iran to not escalate, or don't be too harsh on the retaliation strike on Israel, and to not go all out, basically. And of course, we all know that's a bunch of bogus, because after Shoigu left, there was a bunch of more transport planes coming in, bringing in more equipment into Iran. Now, from what I'm understanding, they were requesting S-400s, as we can see here. As fears continue to rise of war between Iran and Israel, the Iranian government has requested advanced radars, air defense systems from Russia, with both having begun to now be delivered to Tehran by Russian aircraft. What systems these are is unknown, though it is believed to likely include S-400 surface-to-air missile system, which Iran has been requesting for years. And I can believe that. Maybe Russia is sending the S-400s, maybe. I find that kind of hard to believe that they have a couple to spare, especially since their air defense is pretty weak right now. The fact that if Russia is really actually sending S-400s, that's bad, because first of all, they don't even have enough air defense to take care of their own skies, which is pretty crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, I heard that Iran also requested a couple S-35s, but they never got a reply on that or anything. And I highly doubt Russia is gonna give them those, because they're suffering as well with, like, just taking a lot of losses within the Ukraine war. So if we want to go ahead move on from that. Uh, we're gonna go ahead and look at potential targets that Iran is probably gonna try and hit on this new upcoming offensive. And I've got to tell y'all, this kind of makes sense. Iranian messaging on August 5th, 2024 about possible targets in Israel. So as you can see, this gas field. So right here, here, and then governmental here. Where else? Nope. Okay, military bases. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Ports 1. Yeah, and that's it. 1 port, which is interesting. I would think they have more. And then power plants 1, 2, 3, 4. So they got about 4 power plants. And then the airport as well. Golan Heights right here, and the Gaza Strip and West Bank. It's all here. So these are potential targets that people believe that Iran might actually hit, or that are aiming to hit, of course, because Iranian equipment is about 40 years old, 50 years old, and Israel is like 2 generations ahead on technology. But at the same time, with the right coordination between Hamas, Hezbollah, and other proxy groups within the region, and also with them moving some of their forces into Syria, and maybe as well some Iraqi backed terrorists and down in Yemen will be also launching rockets into Israel. So they're going to overwhelm the Iron Dome, and eventually some ballistic missiles will enter in. There will be a couple hits for sure, but we just don't know to what extent and how big this retaliatory strike is going to be. We've heard it's going to be 3 days. We've heard it's going to be huge. We've heard a lot of things. We just, to this day, we just don't know what exactly the scale is. So beyond that, and then Iran, as we can see here, is preparing and mobilizing their forces. So since this weekend, U.S. intelligence officials have observed the Iranian armed forces conducting military drills, as well as the movement of Iranian transporter erector launchers armed with missiles around the country, indicating that preparations for an attack against Israel. And this was on August 5th. So they're reading that about 2 days ago. And then now, as we're going into after the mobilizing part, Saudi Arabia is not allowing Iran to use their airspace, which I can see that somewhat of a being a struggle, because if they do have missile launchers right here, and they go all the way and boom, they're already into Saudi Arabia airspace. But Saudi Arabia has really good ties. I wouldn't say good ties, but they're really Western aligned. If I'm not mistaken, I think that are they Saudi Arabia. I don't think they are. No, Saudi Arabia is not a part of NATO. So yeah. But they do have ties with America, and they are a Sunni Islamic state, and Iran is a Shia, and that causes conflicts between Iran and Saudi Arabia. I know that Iran has tried to sabotage Saudi Arabia multiple times in the past, but it is what it is. And if Iran, I mean, most likely if Saudi Arabia catches any rockets going over their airspace, they probably will shoot it down. Or if not, what they would do, and what I'm guessing what they would do. Wow, Kuwait is really that small? I did not know Kuwait was this small. Holy shit. Wow, Kuwait is small. So when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, he invaded this small little place. Man, that's crazy. That is insane. But anyways, they can always just, not set up their ballistic missiles or any of the missiles amongst this border, and or they could just guide them through Iraq right here, straight line near Jordan or over Jordan. But Jordan, of course, is gonna help us shoot them down. So it's gonna be hard passing through Jordan. So maybe if they just set them up right here, going Iraq, Syria. Oh well, that's Lebanon. So maybe it's gonna be hard, but they'll definitely get the Golan Heights, northwestern Israel, for sure. But all around this area, I could see them really hitting. But hopefully, it's not that bad of destruction, and Israel is able to, intercept most of what Iran is sending towards them, which I think they will, especially since we have we have a carrier strike group, the Roosevelt strike group here in the Gulf of Oman, somewhere around here, just waiting for them to start something, and as well as what else? Oh, and we also have a bunch of F-18s that I believe just landed over here in London, and will be probably transferred to around somewhere in the Middle East to combat all these rockets and missiles that Iran will be launching towards Israel. So beyond that, we're gonna go ahead and look into. Oh wait, did I ever show y'all? Yeah. Here. Saudi Arabia has reportedly told Iranian officials that it will not allow Iran to use Saudi airspace to launch an attack on Israel, and that any missiles, drones, or aircraft that enter the airspace will be seen as a violation of Saudi sovereignty, stating that we are defending ourselves, not Israel. So, there you go with that. And then, as we hear that yesterday over northwestern Israel, around, if I'm not mistaken, it was around Safed, or I think it was Nahanya, or Nahariya, or I don't know how to say that one. Nahariya. I believe it was around Nahariya that we saw Hezbollah drones flying into Israel and striking certain areas. From what we've heard, that there was a couple casualties, but it wasn't from the drones. It was actually from the interceptors that completely failed to hit the drone and basically had a malfunction and just crashed onto the highway and left a couple people severely wounded. I believe it killed one person, if I'm not mistaken. But as you can see here, you can see Hezbollah drone, Shahed 35, just flying over Israel, which is kind of crazy. And the fact that it's just wandering around the Iron Dome is now. For what I understand, those Shahed drones have the maximum speed of 135 kilometers per hour, which is really not fast. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's around 70 miles per hour, something along those lines. And it is they're able to go slow and fly low, so they're not really detected on the radar like that. So that's what makes the Shahed drones so volatile, and also just such a hazard. Not a hazard, but how do I explain it? Such a worry to Israeli, or not a worry, but such an asset for the Iranians and for the Iranian proxy groups. But as you can see here, boom, there's that interceptor. As you can see, that was a loud boom. I believe I have one more footage of that. Yep. Ah, shit. So we can see here, it's gonna come right here. Boom. Right there. There's the interceptor. That's where it landed. It left a couple people injured just with shrapnel. Not if I'm not mistaken, 1 KA. I'm not really sure. Killed in action. One dead, but I'm not sure. And then there, of course, it was all civilians, so which is sad. But anyways, moving on from that, Israeli airstrike in Uran and Kefra in the southern Lebanon. I'm sorry, guys. My pronunciation might be ass, but I'm trying my best to pronounce these words because these are places that I've never really heard of, and it's kind of hard to say the names. But Israeli Air Force launched strikes earlier tonight on Hezbollah targets within the towns of Uran and Kefra in southern Lebanon near the border with Israel. So we're going to go ahead and look for the towns of Uran. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see if we can geolocate it. Maybe we just, I don't know, put that word here. Oh, wow. I was way off. So here's one of the strikes. And then, so this was actually on, wow. So this was near the Golan Heights. Okay. Which is kind of crazy. Then we're going to go ahead and look up Yarun. Oh, okay. And this one was, I was okay. I was kind of close with the other one. But two separate cities. Pretty far apart from each other, but not bad. But we're gonna go ahead and look at the footage right here. Boom! God, they just love to drop those 2,000 pounders, man. Ooh, look at that. Hey, now that's how you take out some targets right there. God. Israel does not play around when it comes to these bombs. I'm telling y'all, guys. This is insane. God. Whew. But beyond that, so if we get into the next bit of news, the acting foreign minister of Iran is on his way to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Now, if we look right here, where is Jeddah? We're gonna Jeddah. Oh, that's deep into Saudi Arabia. Interesting. It's going that far from Iran. Now from what I know, I have no idea why the foreign minister of Iran is going to Saudi Arabia. Maybe to try and convince them to let some of their rockets and missiles fly over Saudi Arabia into Israel. Maybe to I don't know, to basically just stay out of it. But that's my assumption. I believe that Iran is going to try and talk to Saudi Arabia and maybe try and convince them, hey, none of these missiles are going to, land into your territory. We just ask that you just let it happen and don't be a part of it, don't intercept, and that's it. Because from what we're seeing, not only does hold on, guys. Not only does, you know, Iran not fuck with Israel, but so does Saudi Arabia. So, it's just it's a lot of, Muslim states that are that are controlled in the Middle East, and it's just crazy. A lot of tensions between Muslims and Jewish people. Um, but if we go ahead and look at what they're saying, the acting foreign minister of Iran, al-Bagheri, is currently on his way to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia for an emergency meeting of the Organization of an Islamic Cooperation, which was called by both Iran and Pakistan to discuss the Israeli assassination of Hamas chief political leader Ismail Haniyeh last week in Tehran. Honestly, Pakistan, and it's always been not always been against us, because we've helped Pakistan in the past, but for Pakistan to get in the middle of this is kind of crazy. I wouldn't that's kind of something that I wouldn't think Pakistan would do, but of course Pakistan is a Muslim state, so it is what it is. But of course Islam brings all Islams together with any, that's how it is with any religion. All religions bring all religions together. But as we're getting news as well, the IRGC militias entering Syria as of right now. Or no. It was at roughly 4:23 a.m. when I was working. So exclusive. Early this morning, 4 trucks and 2 buses belonging to IRGC militias, loaded with weapons and fighters, into the city of al-Buqma in eastern Syria from Iraq. The convoy crossed from the Iraqi territory. More exclusive detail to be released soon. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I have some footage of it. Now, I do want to show the footage, but I have to make sure that it is acceptable for YouTube. So let me see here. But if y'all want to see a picture, y'all can. As y'all can see, here's this picture of IRGC militias, and oh wait, Syrian tribal forces backed by Assad government.
الله أكبر. مقاتلين العشائر قرانيج الآن 7-8. الله أكبر الله أكبر. الآن مقاتلين العشائر قرانيج تكبير. اليوم الأربعاء
As you can see,
الله أكبر الله أكبر.
now this is breaking news to me. Syrian tribal forces backed by the Assad government have mounted an assault along the Euphrates River in Deir ez-Zor province. The cities of Al-Bazir and Diban and the outskirts of Abu Haman have been captured. The U.S.-backed SDF Kurds are bringing in reinforcements to stop the advance. The Assad-backed tribal troops are approaching the U.S. base in Al-Amar oil field known as the Green Village. So, if I'm not mistaken, if RGC militias are entering Syria through Iraq, they're probably giving these guys some more equipment to do whatever they need to do. Yep, that would make sense to me. Yep, that would make perfect sense to me. Look at that. Yep, that would make perfect sense to me. But of course, we don't know. That's not confirmation. That's not confirmed. This is just a hypothesis of what I'm making. Oh, breaking. Egypt has issued a NOTAM. Has issued a curious NOTAM instructing Egypt Airlines avoid Iranian airspace between 0100 to 0400 on August 8th. That's interesting. Those are very specific times too, from 0100 to 0400. That's very interesting. That they'll issue a NOTAM. Why would they issue a NOTAM though? For that, maybe they have intel that they believe Iranian airstrikes or rocket attacks will happen, but I highly doubt it. Maybe. We don't know yet. Might, but we don't know. But as always, ooh man, that's a tricky one. That is very tricky. Ooh, that's all I've been seeing. No Tam, no Tam. Ooh, okay. Now we got video footage. We have video footage of the Russian soldiers surrendering to Ukrainian forces in the Kursk regions, which is pretty insane. Yeah, that, hold on guys. Let me see if I got this right. Let me see if this is confirmed. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty confirmed to me. So let me go ahead and show y'all this real quick right here. Those are all the POWs taken by Ukrainian forces. That's from what I've heard is an entire 2 platoons. Oh my. I'm guessing those are the ones that are POWs. Look at that.
Пане Сергій, дякую вам за те, що нам допомогли вашими русорізами. Завдяки вам всі полонені здаються. 22 чоловіка.
Yeah, that's insane. That is insane. But beyond that, oh shit. Sorry guys. Beyond that, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the next bulletin. And the last bulletin. Commander Hassan Farjasi eliminated in Lebanon. From what I've heard, this is if I'm not mistaken, one of Hezbollah commanders, if I'm not sure. Let me see here, because I don't want to give y'all the wrong information and I look like a complete idiot on my part, and I'm not trying to be that, but I've also told y'all that we might look like complete idiots on this. But it's okay, because we are still getting into politics. I mean, geopolitics, of course. So I believe he won't be. I can't really get information on this guy. I don't know if he was Hamas or Hezbollah, but he was a commander for one of these Iranian backed groups for probably a certain brigade. As you can see there, he was basically wiped out pretty quick. Shit. But that is all it for the news for today. And of course, if y'all like my news coverage, if y'all liked what I brought to the table, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, subscribe. I do this every day, bring on whatever that's going on in the world. Today we covered the past 48 hours, as tomorrow we're going to be covering the next 24 hours, or the last 24 hours of what's happening around the world, as I will keep everyone updated. Of course, it is crazy because I have a lot of bulletins that I literally covered today, and I did it in a short time span that I didn't think that I would. If I'm looking at it right now, we did it in about an hour and 24 minutes, which is really good. Really good. But if y'all liked what y'all saw, and if y'all liked what y'all see, please go ahead and leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. I will be going live every day, basically, just bringing out the news to y'all, and just giving y'all information, simple information, nothing crazy, nothing serious, and on what is going on around the world. But as always, it has been your Geo correspondent, guys, and I hope that everyone has an amazing day, great day, and I hope nothing gets in y'all's way, and I hope everyone has a great and successful day. But as always, it has been your boy, the Geo correspondent, and I will